Evil never really dies. It just waits for the next prayer to fade. In The Conjuring, Last Rites 2025, Ed and Lorraine Warren face the darkest force they've ever encountered. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell, so you don't miss any pulse-pounding recaps like this. The story starts on April 12, 1964. Ed and Lorraine visit the home of a young girl named Victoria. She tells them that her father once warned her about a shadow in their house, but she didn't take him seriously. A few days later, her father began shouting that something was calling him from the storeroom. "It talks to me," he said. Victoria thought he was losing his mind, until one day she came home and found he had taken his own life. After his death, the strange things he experienced started happening to her. Victoria began hearing the same voice from the storeroom. It called her name, whispering to her in the dark. Scared and desperate, she contacted Ed and Lorraine for help. The couple arrived and headed straight to the storeroom. Lorraine, who was pregnant at the time, followed her intuition down the stairs. Ed warned her to be careful. Lorraine sensed something inside an old mirror. She asked softly, "Who are you? Tell me and I'll help you." But what she saw next was horrifying. The shadow showed her a vision so terrifying that she screamed out in pain. "Ed, our baby!" she cried. Ed rushed her to the hospital, terrified for her safety. At the hospital, Lorraine kept seeing disturbing visions. She couldn't tell what was real anymore. Eventually she gave birth, but the doctors told her the baby didn't survive. Heartbroken, Lorraine prayed with all her soul, begging God to bring her child back. Miraculously, her baby began to breathe again. Overjoyed, Lorraine and Ed named their daughter Judy. As the years passed, Judy began to show signs of having the same gift as her mother, the ability to see spirits. Lorraine taught her how to manage it, though Judy was still too young to understand what it really meant. Time moved on to 1986. The story shifted to another family. That day, a girl named Heather was celebrating her confirmation at church. After the confirmation, her family threw a party, and her grandfather, John, gave her a gift. When Heather opened it, everyone smiled until they saw what it was. Inside the box lay a mirror. The same mirror Lorraine had seen in that haunted storeroom back in 1964. Heather is thrilled with her new mirror, completely unaware that it's anything but ordinary. The family has no idea what they've just brought into their home. As everyone gathers for the cake, Heather gets ready to blow out the candles, but suddenly she feels a cold breath on her neck, and the flame goes out on its own. Thinking her little brother Don did it, she scolds him, but he swears he didn't. The two start arguing when, out of nowhere, the fluorescent light crashes onto the table. Everyone jumps back in fear and Heather gets slightly hurt. No one realizes it yet, but this is just the beginning. What happens next will become one of the scariest, most talked about events of 1986. The case that would shake Ed and Lorraine Warren's family forever. The story shifts back to Ed and Lorraine. They're giving a lecture telling the audience about Annabelle, the cursed doll. They explain that the only way to stay safe from haunted objects is to lock them away and never touch them. But most people don't take them seriously anymore. Ed and Lorraine have retired from active investigations, spending their time teaching instead, though the class seems uninterested. Ed feels frustrated, but Lorraine and their daughter Judy keep telling him that everything will be fine. That night, the three of them are out having dinner. Between laughs and small talk, Judy asks her dad if she can invite her boyfriend, Tony, to her birthday party the next day. Lorraine and Ed agree, happy to see their daughter smiling. But then, the mood suddenly changes. Lorraine senses a dark presence nearby and Judy feels it too. Lorraine tries to stay calm, but Judy's face turns pale. Lorraine gently holds her hand and tells her everything will be okay. Then she sees something that freezes her blood. A shadowy hand resting on Judy's shoulder. Even Lorraine is shaken. Ed notices their faces and asks what's wrong, but neither of them says a word. The story cuts back to the Smurl family from earlier. Janet, Heather's mother, is doing laundry, trying to keep busy. But as she hangs up the clothes, she can't shake the feeling that someone is standing right behind her. She tells herself it's just her imagination and keeps working. Janet goes back to chatting with her friend while the kids run around the house laughing and playing. They keep darting past her, and she warns them not to play too close to where she's standing. Suddenly, her phone is yanked right out of her hand. She freezes for a second, thinking the kids are pulling a prank. She starts yelling for them to come out of the back room, but no one answers. When she turns on the light and steps inside, the room is completely empty. But Janet isn't the only one noticing strange things. Her youngest daughter, Susie, is in her room playing with her doll when she feels someone behind her. She turns around and sees an old woman, pale, lifeless, and not human at all. Terrified, Susie runs to tell her family what she saw, but no one believes her. And it's not just Janet and Susie. Heather has been feeling it too. Ever since that mirror came into the house, something dark has been following them. She and her sister Dawn finally decide they've had enough. Late that night, they carried the mirror outside and left it for the trash collector. By morning, the mirror is taken by the garbage truck and crushed. The next day, the family is sitting together having breakfast trying to move on. But then Dawn starts feeling dizzy. Moments later, she begins vomiting. First normal, then blood, and everyone panics when they see shards of glass coming out. Heather realizes this can't be a coincidence. Something evil is still with them. Meanwhile, miles away, Ed is meeting with his doctor. He wants to know if he can go back to work. The doctor shakes his head, telling him that his heart is too weak and that another heart attack could kill him. Ed takes it in quietly, realizing this might be the end of his career. Later that day, the family throws a small birthday party for Ed. Everyone's smiling, trying to keep things light. Judy shows up with her boyfriend, Tony. She introduces him to Father Gordon. Tony used to be a cop, but he retired early and no one really knows why. At the party, Tony runs into Brad, one of Ed and Lorraine's old friends. Curious, he asks Brad if the stories about the Warrens banishing spirits are true, and if he's ever seen them do it. Brad says yes, it's all real. Then he asks Tony why he's so interested, but Tony doesn't really answer. Later that night, Judy is upstairs in her room getting ready when she suddenly feels something cold behind her. She glances toward the mirror and sees the Annabelle doll slowly moving closer to her. But before she can scream, the doll vanishes. Judy calls out and Tony rushes into the room. Shaken, she tells him what she saw. Moments later, Lorraine comes in. Tony leaves the room and Judy tells her mother everything that just happened. Lorraine gently comforts Judy, telling her not to let the fear take control. Judy nods, trying to calm down, and for a while things feel normal again. The night goes on, the party starts winding down, but Tony still hasn't left. He pulls Lorraine and Ed aside and tells them he wants to marry Judy. Lorraine's face lights up with joy, but Ed isn't so sure. He studies Tony, trying to read his intentions. Before they can say anything, Judy walks in. Tony drops to one knee and proposes right there. Judy says yes and the room bursts into cheers. Everyone's happy. As the night ends, Father Gordon congratulates Ed and Lorraine. Just before leaving, he mentions a family that's been calling for help, begging him to send the Warrens. Lorraine shakes her head, saying they're done with that kind of work. Father Gordon nods quietly and leaves. Meanwhile, we return to Jack and his family. They're terrified and don't know what to do. Jack tries to stay strong for them, but his daughter's fear is getting worse. That night, Jack lies in bed trying to sleep, when suddenly he sees the same dark shadow again. His body lifts off the bed, floating and choking in midair. He tries to scream, but he can't move. At the same time, Heather is reviewing the video from her birthday, trying to figure out who blew out her candles. But when she pauses the footage, she sees something. A shadow moving behind her. The next second, it rushes straight at the camera. Heather screams as the figure appears in her room, trying to grab her. Her cry wakes everyone. Janet wakes from her sleep and sees Jack suspended in the air. Moments later, he crashes back down. Janet rushes downstairs and finds Heather on the floor. The entire family is shaken and terrified. By morning, the story has spread across town. News vans line up outside their house. Some people believe them. Others think it's all made up. Back with Lorraine, she's taking Judy shopping for her wedding dress. Judy slips into a gown and admires herself in the mirror. But then she feels it again. That heavy, cold presence. At first, she tells herself it's nothing. Then, out of nowhere, a dark shape appears behind her. It grabs her by the throat. Judy gasps and screams. Lorraine rushes in, instantly sensing danger. But what she doesn't yet know is that the evil isn't new. It's connected to the same darkness haunting Smurl's family. The story jumps back to Jack's house. Father Gordon has arrived to see for himself what's going on. He speaks with Janet, examines the rooms and whispers prayers under his breath. After a while, he realizes the truth. There isn't just one spirit here. There are several. All demonic. He hurries to the church, desperate to report what he's found. As he waits in the hall for the bishop, the phone beside him starts to ring. He answers it. A cold, distorted woman's voice says, "Your time is up." Before he can react, every door in the room slams shut. The shadow appears, twisting, crawling, closing in on him. Father Gordon screams as the darkness overwhelms him, torturing him until he falls to his death. News of Father Gordon's death spreads fast. He was close to Ed, Lorraine, and Judy, and his loss hits them hard. The three attend his funeral, quiet and heartbroken. While standing near the coffin, Judy starts to feel something strange. Her body tenses like she can sense a presence nearby. That's when they meet Father Singler. Judy asks him where Father Gordon died, and he tells her it happened in Pennsylvania. Judy listens carefully, her face pale but focused. Later that day, everyone returns home. Lorraine is in the kitchen when she suddenly feels something's wrong. She finds Judy's necklace in the sink. A wave of dread hits her. She turns to Tony and asks where Judy is. Tony hesitates before saying Judy already left to visit the family Father Gordon was helping. Panic sets in. Ed and Lorraine grab their things and rush out. They arrive at the house to find reporters. Their only goal is to get Judy back home safely. But when they arrive, Judy refuses to leave. She looks her parents in the eye and says, "These people need us. When did you two start turning your backs on families who need help?" Her words cut deep. Ed and Lorraine exchange a look and agree to stay. One last case. But Judy is hiding something from them. That night, she tells Tony quietly, "I saw Father Gordon die with my own eyes. There's something here that wants me to stay. I don't know what it is." Meanwhile, Lorraine has been sensing powerful demonic energy since stepping into the house. It's stronger than anything she's felt in years. But she can't tell what it wants from them. Then Lorraine finally comes face to face with the spirits haunting the place. She sees flashes of the past and pieces the truth together. She tells Ed that before this house was built, 3 people lived on the land: a husband, his wife, and her mother. The husband kept his wife locked up, paranoid and cruel. Eventually she started an affair. When the husband found out, he killed both his wife and her mother before taking his own life. Since then, their spirits have been trapped here, filled with rage and pain. Ed tries to calm her down. "We've handled worse than this, Lorraine. Why are you so scared?" Lorraine looks at him and says quietly, "Because these 3 spirits aren't acting on their own. Something else is controlling them. A darker force. The same one behind everything that's been happening." Their fear deepens. Suddenly, Judy hears someone calling her from upstairs. Her mother's voice. But Lorraine is outside. Confused, Judy climbs the stairs. The hallway is dark and cold. She turns and sees the shadow again, standing near the mirror. As she steps closer, Annabelle appears, only this time she's huge, her body twisted and merged with the darkness around her. Annabelle lunges at her. Judy screams and runs, tumbling down the stairs. Ed and Lorraine rush in and grab her. Shaken, Judy points upstairs. Ed and Lorraine race up and see the mirror glowing faintly. Lorraine senses something's different about it, something alive. They decide to take the mirror back to their home for study. Ed and Jack carefully lift it while Tony tries to start the car outside. Judy's condition is getting worse. Her skin is growing pale. Lorraine can feel the evil tightening its grip. As Ed and Jack carry the mirror out, the air inside the house grows heavy. Jack slips and falls down the stairs, leaving Ed holding the mirror alone. He yells at Jack to get out of the way as the mirror comes crashing down, missing his leg. Outside, Tony's panicking. The car won't start. A shadow moves behind him. Jack looks up and sees a demonic figure creeping across the wall. When Ed goes downstairs, he notices the entity has entered Judy. From her corner, Lorraine screams her daughter's name as the terrible truth hits her. The evil they were fighting isn't trapped in the house anymore. It's inside Judy. Before she can react, the spirit throws Lorraine to the floor. Judy, now consumed by something dark, turns on her father. Her eyes are cold, her voice no longer her own. She attacks Ed and terrifies everyone around her. Ed shouts for everyone to get out, but no one knows what's happening or how to stop it. Just then, the same ghostly husband appeared near Lorraine. The husband charges toward her with an axe, ready to kill. But Tony bursts through the door and pulls Lorraine to safety just in time. Catching her breath, Lorraine finally understands everything. She rushes to Ed and says, "It was never about the family. From the start, the mirror wanted Judy. She was its true target." Ed's face hardens. They both realize there's only one thing left to do: save their daughter no matter what it takes. Jack and his family have already escaped the house. Ed begins to pray loudly, calling on every ounce of faith he has left. The house starts to shake. Windows crack and a violent wind tears through the rooms. The mirror rattles and tips, nearly crushing Tony, but Ed grabs it just in time. Lorraine holds Judy close and places her hands on the mirror. "You won't take her," she whispers. Judy joins her, pressing her trembling hands on the glass. The mirror begins to crack as they pray. A violent wind bursts through the house, shattering parts of it, and then silence follows. The chaos stops. Dust settles. Judy collapses, unconscious and still. Ed and Lorraine drop to their knees beside her, fearing the worst. For a moment, it feels like she's gone. Then Judy gasps and opens her eyes. She's alive. They've done it. They've freed the family and trapped the spirits inside what's left of the mirror. Later, Ed and Lorraine take the broken mirror back to their home, sealing it in their collection. Days pass and peace slowly returns. Judy and Tony get married in a small ceremony surrounded by loved ones. That's a wrap on our breakdown of The Conjuring 2025. What do you think about this movie? Drop your thoughts and reactions in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss one of our thrilling movie analyses and deep dives. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay tuned for more edge of your seat content.